Now for the track guide. Guys, before starting, if you want to improve at a quicker pace, check out my sim racing courses in the video description. Now going into a track guide itself, this is a fun little track. For turn 1, you will be turning into this corner and you can use two references here. I mean, this is not a precise reference because we don't have a lot to play with, but you see this pole here on the left side. When this disappears from your windshield or when this pillar blocks it, you should be turning the car. Another reference will be just gauging the distance, because when you see this curb and you see that you are 2 car lengths away from the curb on the right side, again, you should be turning into this corner and doing a lift. Apply the brakes not immediately, let the car roll with more speed into the corner, and then when you get even closer to the curb, you should be applying the brakes. You should go to 5th gear, hold the brakes all the way up until you get the middle part of the curb, then push the throttle. Make sure you're not hitting this curb on your way out. You don't want to go all that way towards the left. It's not gonna be good enough for the next corner. You want to be on the left side, but not at the grass or at the curb. Then you will try to bring the car to the center of the car. The moment that you bring it to the center of the car, and the moment you arrive in the center of the car, center of the track, that's the moment that you should be applying the brakes. So you will brake. You don't want to brake very hard. You will go to 4th gear, but you want to keep a very tight line around here. So it's a double apex approach. Hit the curb initially early, then hold a tight line, don't go more than center of the track, and then when you push the throttle, that's the moment where we should go wide. So we shouldn't go wide in the center of the corner, so to speak, but just on the exit, like this. Use 4th gear, make sure you're not doing a lot of corrections under throttle, and make sure you're keeping that trail brake engaged all the way towards the long corner or the double apex approach. Now this one will be flat, and we're heading towards the hairpin. The 150 board here or the white line will be the reference for braking. At the white line, you should be applying the brakes, or slightly past the white line, but definitely you should be looking at the 150. You can use this curb to brake on it. That's perfectly fine to open up the corner a lot more. You will go to 2nd gear and you really need to hold the brakes heavily. You shouldn't drop the brakes very quickly around here. So make sure you're holding that peak pressure engaged so that the car will decelerate. And then when you're hitting the middle part of this curb, you should be pushing the throttle. Make sure you're using the curb to open up, because you can put your right tires on it. It's still gonna be fine. You should be arriving on the curb on the left side. Again, it should be fine. For the next corner, the reference for braking will be the ending of this curb on the right side. You need to open up as much as you can. The moment that this little triangle disappears from the windshield, that's the moment that you should be pressing the brakes. In 3rd gear, make sure you're not taking an early apex. Make sure you're apexing very, very late around here, you see, towards the almost the ending of the curb, you see. The later you apex here, the better you're gonna be, because this leads to a decent straight, and the only thing that matters here is your throttle input. If you are going up and down with your throttle input, it means that you just took a very early apex. So make sure your throttle application is nice and steady, always going up, and that will be the result of a later turning point or later apex. Now this corner will be flat out. And for the last part of the track, have the car all the way towards the right side to the white line. Then when you turn into the corner, you're gonna be applying a little bit of brakes. You can look at this XC concrete road on the left side to have a reference for turning in. And then hold the pressure engaged all the way. Make sure you're cutting this curb, go to 4th gear, still hold the brakes, still hold the brakes. When you get closer to this kink in the white line, where the white line goes towards the left side and it goes straight again, you should be back on throttle. Give it a blimp of throttle just to make sure you're keeping the car speed up. But ideally, you want to be almost hugging this curb on to the way going downwards. So if you have the car center of the track at this point in time, it won't be good enough. You really need to be on the left side near the white line. At 50 or before the 50, you're gonna be applying the brakes, brake in a straight line initially, then turn more and more. In 2nd gear, cut this white and blue curb, super important, and make sure you're not very early on the gas. You shouldn't be arriving on this green curb on the left side. Even though you can use it without getting the off track, it will kill your momentum into the next two corners, which are probably one of the most important corners to get it right, because it leads to a huge straight, the biggest straight of the track. So make sure you're sacrificing this corner by taking and having the car in center of the track, rather than pushing it wide and gaining time in this corner, but then losing everything and more in the next two. Because in third gear here, you will try to bring the car as much as you can to the right side. It won't be possible to bring it to the white line because the corner is very close and you will just turn very late if you just try to bring it more than this. But then you'll go to fourth gear, and now for this corner and the next one, you will just manage your throttle input. Name of the game here is finding the minimum dropout throttle application that you can get away with. So the minimum amount of lift that you can get away with. This is exactly what we're doing here in fourth gear, making sure you're using all the track. Now for this corner, once again, small lift to 80%, in fifth gear, then going back to 100. And that's it, that's a lap around here, it's a quick lap. So hope you have a nice week, and once again, if you want to improve at a quicker pace, check out GitGUDRacing.com. See you on the next one, bye bye.